So welcome back to the first ever comic book club. Is this the first? Well, it's our first. I think we used to do it before, but what's our book today, Ellie?
Our book today is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the deluxe edition.
I have so many questions, and I think you have some questions too. But first, this was your first comic book ever that you read?
No.
In a long time, maybe?
In a long time. I went to Universal at the beginning of this year. That was my first time buying my own comic books. I got a couple Marvel ones. But yes, I have not read this bulky of a comic book. I'll say that.
And maybe this is like the complete story too, because I think if you ever read comic books, they were all like 20 pages, right? The floppies. So like
it's short little things, and then
completed
you have
arc
to get
storylines that you're probably seeing, which is good. How initial thoughts? Don't even give me that. Did you like it or not like
it? Love it. I actually really, really liked it.
I had a feeling you would like it.
Oh, you know me so well.
But also, I guess if you had to, I guess let's just start with why do you like it so much, and then I want to kind of break down the story and some thoughts behind it. But why do you like it in general?
I liked it because it's hard, I feel sometimes, to get like the voice of a character through a comic book. Like, I think if you can write in that way, it's really impressive. And in this book, like, it's just words in a white bubble, but the difference between like Supergirl's voice and then the other character's voice is so strong, and like so strong. And I just thought it was really impressive that they were able to do that. And also like the storyline, like it has moments of like flashbacks, it has moments of like, some where a whole page is just one image of like this crazy thing that's hard to conceptualize, or like space or whatever. And
Flash pages.
yeah. But it doesn't take away from the story. It's consistent, and it's I mean, obviously having the deluxe, having all 7 issues in the same story is helpful, but even if I were to just read one, I could get a good idea of like where this is going and a good amount of the plot,
Yeah. So I will also say that this is not your average comic book. It does follow a lot of, I guess, story styles that people like to do in comics. I'm curious if you notice this, and you will start noticing this as we read more. But the way Tom King has a very particular style, and he's the writer of this book, and he won the Eisner, which is, I think I told you, like basically like the Oscar. Basically won the Oscar for best comic book. Not on this book, but actually for a few others. I think he's won like 2 or 3 times. But that's why DC loves him, and they give him like all of their characters to write these story arcs. But the idea is that he likes, he like what you were saying. He likes connecting the flashbacks, but he also likes these narrations. He's heavy on these narration boxes, which tell a different story than the story that you're reading, you're looking at in the pages, like the actual like images. And some people like that, some people don't. I think it's a very unique style, so obviously it works. Works for Tom King. But some people find it's like, why don't you just like tell the story, right? So that's one thing I think you'll notice. Narration boxes allow you to tell a different story than what's being shown on the page. And also what's it called? It also turns like what you were saying, like maybe like cosmic stuff was happening in the background, and like crazy things was happening. In the narration boxes, he makes it like very mundane and like all like a perfect juxtaposition, so people what's happening, and he makes it very plainly, so like counteracts what's happening in the background. Is definitely a very Tom King thing to do. So now like that's like his style, and a lot of the great writers each have their own style, kind of like the directors.
Crazy.
As I'm sure you know by now, and it's kind of like you'll start seeing all their distinct styles. And next time I won't tell you what this distinct style is. You're gonna tell me, all right, Ellie?
Grand.
Sure, yeah. But that's only one of his styles here, and
Yeah. I
it's
think
what he's
he utilizes it well. Well, because like you can tell even the difference of like he does it well. You can tell the difference between like the thought bubble. At first, I was like, this voice sounds different than like her speaking voice, and
Mhm.
obviously you come to know that it's like her, when she's older telling this story, like many years later. But
Right.
like at first, I was like, okay, is this like her internal dialogue? But then she has to show face for Supergirl. It's different. You can tell and you can ask those questions. And then you finally get to the end and you find out why. But just that you can tell that from a bubble is impressive.
Well, yeah, and then again the narration bubbles, and then yes, the actual dialogue speech bubble that was happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
in real time, or I guess in the moment. So that was one thing that was cool. We will get to the ending in a second because I think it's important that the ending works and it's tied together nicely.
Yeah.
But it's something else that comic people love to do, and this is not just a Tom King thing, but he definitely does this.
Mhm.
Is that they try to add this air of like mystery to the title character by not making them the actual main character, and it drives me crazy. Right? So
Really?
so what that means is that they try to put what you could call like a surrogate character for the audience. They always try to include this character. It's like this narrator, right? I don't know what was her name, Ruthye, something weird like that. Um,
Yeah.
Whatever her name was. And you'll see these like unnamed. It's supposed to be like you're in the story with them because they're just meeting Supergirl or this hero, and you're kind
Yeah.
of taking the journey with them, because not only are they learning about and conversing with Supergirl, but you're one step removed from Supergirl, so you don't really actually know what she's thinking and what she's going through and what she's doing, right? It's only
Yeah.
seeing it from like another person's eyes.
Hmm.
um, so yes, that's something that they love, and you'll see it a lot with like Batman and Superman and all these kind of things. And it's for better or worse. I think
And you
that
don't like you
I
don't
don't
like
like it. I don't like it. I think it just defeats the purpose of like you're picking up like a girl like a Supergirl book because you want to read Supergirl.
Yeah,
And uh,
it's true.
but then also I think it misses a chance to really get in with the character and kind of tell the story. It's basically you have to create a whole new story and character from scratch. And there's pros and
Yeah.
cons to doing that. But the cons that you lose, a really Supergirl-esque story here, and
Hmm.
getting her inner thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
did you notice this? Did you even think about it when you were reading it? Are you noticing it now,
I
retro?
did. No. Man, I have my own thoughts. Um, no, I did notice because I was like, okay, like
Like, who's this
I
girl?
was
I've never
just
even like who's this?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
just
who's
the whole
speaking? Why is
intro.
this? Why is Supergirl not in these first few
Yeah,
pages?
right.
That
I
also
was
drives me
expecting it
crazy
to like
when
flip almost.
I don't even
Yeah,
think Supergirl appeared until like the end of issue. I don't even know if
no,
that's true. I think it was
until
like
like well,
it
it
was
was
a
like
long
halfway
time into
through.
issue one, and I was like, why is this happening?
Yeah, it's like halfway through, and she shows up like drunk.
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes. And I think
yeah,
you didn't even know it was her for like a little bit because I think they were like hiding her whatever her
kind
logo.
of. Yeah, I mean, she had her blonde hair, so I guess you can assume, but it wasn't like oh my god, it's Supergirl. But like I noticed, I just expected it to flip at some point, and then when it didn't, I was like weird. But then you still get a lot of like what she's going through. It's just like her. It. I think it shows a certain strength of character, not knowing her thoughts. Like, obviously, we can get into Supergirl's mind. That's super interesting. But when you just see her from an outside point of view, like how everyone else would see her, it it serves a purpose because she had so much strength for this tiny little girl. I mean, even on the planet with the green sun, like she
Did you
she's
just
very
call Supergirl
resilient.
tiny?
No,
Crazy, Ellie.
the other little girl, the main
Oh, the
Ruthie.
actual.
Ruthie.
Yeah.
I wish I
Uh,
knew how to pronounce her name, Ruthie or Ruthye.
yeah. They were trying to do
Something.
something with
Yeah.
that name. But I know what you're saying.
But yeah, yeah,
So so you did like it or you didn't like it?
I did like it. I think I would need another book though to understand Supergirl specifically more.
Hmm.
Maybe not even with this storyline, just as herself. you know?
I will say that this is, and what some people call like the definitive Supergirl
Yeah.
story, and her origin too, because
Yeah.
a lot of times, her story's already set in stone, right? So creators when they come in and writers when they come in, they can't really they can't rewrite things basically.
Yeah.
In canon, for example.
The canon, yes.
The canon, it's like the Spider-Man, Uncle Ben dies.
Yeah, that's
then,
part of the universe.
Yeah, it's part of the. So everybody has to kind of follow that format. The same thing is with her, and her losing Krypton and that loss, which drags throughout the entire story arc. It's the same, always, but it's an interesting way of doing it here. And I also think that, I do think Supergirl pretty well by the end. And then I guess that was the entire point, though, right? Is that you would. You are still, I guess, one step removed and wondering more about like, what is she doing now? What does she do next? What is she, where is she off to after helping this, one person? This is only one story of hers, and that's why it's creating this legend around her. The ending. Let's talk about the ending now, Ellie.
The ending.
Did you think it? Did you think it worked? Do you think it didn't work? And one of the more interesting things that in my mind when I first started reading this, I didn't know any of these like characters. I'm not crazy into DC, but like Krem is not an actual, big bad, for example.
Yeah.
It's neither are any of these, the people in there. I think like the Brigade Pirates and all these like different things. Like I think there was like dinosaurs and stuff. Like these aren't like, these aren't like
the dinosaurs.
It's not like the Joker, it's not like a big villain that everybody knows. They were kind of creating these villains,
Yeah, they're starting their own little.
Yeah,
this
and
is
then it's
her
like
kind of
and like a tiny storyline, and it doesn't. So I thought that was interesting, and so I was curious if you liked, the entire story arc of Krem as the villain, and then where it kind of led to in the end, and then maybe tell us, and you can spoil it. It's fine. Just like tell us, in your opinion, what do you think happened at the end, and did you like it or not? And did he tie it all together? That was the most important thing. Did it work?
Yeah.
After 8 issues or 7 or whatever issues.
I liked the ending for a couple reasons. I wasn't in love with it. Like I like that they didn't make like apologies for the villain. I think a lot of times in media now we'll see like this villain, they'll make a big backstory for them and they'll like, try to make you like forgive them for their actions almost. They'll be like, well, they're a human too. And I think this guy, he was just bad. He was just evil. And that's fine. That's
no redeeming qualities? You didn't see any redeeming qualities?
No. He was just horrible to these people, and that's okay. And so I liked what his villain became, because it seemed like for a couple of the episodes they almost like got so off track of like what the main goal was. It was like, how is this guy going to be bigger than like what they're dealing with right now, like near death, dinosaurs, whatever. And so them keeping him in that really villain, like you just hate him, I think made the ending satisfying in that the little girl Ruthye got her kind of like built her character in that moment of like who she was and then who she's going to become. And it was satisfying. I think it was a little drawn out, like him tied to that tree, just a little bit. But at the same time, like it is that decision of like, what is she going to do to him? Like, is like, it was defining her character of like, is she going to let him live? How is he going to get his justice? How is she going to get her vengeance? And I think it ended up beautiful, but I wish that she got her justice and not Supergirl hadn't stepped in. I understand why that happened, but like, just because at that point the story's about her. It is her story in a way. Like they've made it, she's the main character. It's all her thoughts throughout this whole time. So like for her to not get that final, like it was kind of unsatisfying in a way.
But do you think that so I'm guessing that you did not learn the lesson that Supergirl is trying to teach. All right, is that a fair assessment of the situation here? That she was trying to teach you not to kill, not only not to kill. Well, she was trying to teach you, to let things go. Otherwise, it destroys you. Right? It'll consume your entire life. And
I that's why she took over the ending. I understand that. I'm saying my own personal preference.
I hear you. I hear you.
You know?
You know, I think, you know, the ending to me was, you know, I kind of felt the same way about the ending. I kind of, you know, it was kind of interesting to see, because as a fan of Supergirl, even with all the sons and everything, and even, you know, even in the beginning, I don't even know, like, Krypto getting shot was crazy with an arrow.
Yeah.
But even if it happened, like, at any point in time, I was always thinking, like, isn't Supergirl, like, one of the strongest people ever? Like, it didn't make sense why she was, like, going through all this whole ordeal.
Mhm.
At all. It feels like at any point in time she could have overpowered any of her enemies.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, which is I guess why you were bringing, you know, they try to bring kryptonite and all these different like suns and stuff.
Yeah.
But the idea is like at the end, she's like, no, I could have done this all by myself, and I could have taken care of it really quick. I let this all happen just to teach you this whole lesson,
Which is crazy. I was like,
I was like, she really had nothing better to do.
like she was like, oh, Krypto's fine.
Which you know, sometimes I think of the great lengths I go through in my own life to teach you life lessons, and I thought it was a nice full circle moment.
Life lesson
But then,
635.
yes, but then as you just said moments ago, you didn't even learn a Supergirl's lesson. So I feel that's how you are my lessons, but we'll get there one day. So as far as overall book, anything else you kind of want to note? You know, to me, obviously the artwork was amazing.
Gorgeous.
I think you know this is one of the best
Yeah.
art teams that was kind of put together, and that's actually what it's known for. Even all these years later, after it came out, it actually is, you know, the artwork. Tom King's writing, fine. You know, the villains, Krem, and you know her entire origin story, fine. It's really, you know, the artwork that kind of that takes it into that next tier of like, you know, like
It's
a classic comic book, and like everybody knows this book in particular now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's insane. Like some of the like when she was chasing or when she was being chased and she was on her horse, insane. Insane. Like how do you even conceptualize, but yeah.
And you know, one of the things I like to do is after everything, and we said like, you know, I just said like what made this kind of have its legacy in its terms in comic book history. Like what even go, like, you know, I guess we say, I don't know if you read it like recently or like maybe a few weeks ago, but like what do you like? Do you remember, like, if you could name a few things that you remember from the story that, you know, because that's in general what you'll take away from a book. Maybe it's like, you know, 2 or 3 things, maybe, you know, maybe 5 max. But it's like, what are you taking away from this comic book as like, you know, your opinion, or like you as a, you know, like a layman, you know, a lay reader.
A what?
A layman is like, it's like you're just reading for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like don't think critically about it. Think of it as just you as a, you know, like a fan almost, or like a reader, just like
right
in general.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first thing that I took away was that there are strong female characters without them being sexualized. Like Supergirl has managed to, she's managed to break out of this mold of like, you know, you need to have this outfit or this certain way of like talking to people or addressing people or behaving to be like a popular, well-received female character. And not only did they do it with Supergirl, but I also really liked Ruthie's character. Like, you know, she was young, she was innocent, and she took on this lesson even though she didn't understand it at first. And yeah, I just applauded it, especially because it's being turned into a movie. Like it's not just stopping here. It's yes.
And I think I mentioned to you, and it won't be because it literally cannot be, because as you saw how crazy this book, and you know, the imaginative, you're not bound by anything in comic books besides your imagination. But in a movie, obviously you have a budget and there's all the things you cannot do, like we did in this. So you know, the current head of DC Studios, his name is James Gunn. You might or might not have heard of him. But he literally said that he's basing the character of Supergirl off this story, off this this origin story, and it'll show up in the movie. Now, what that actually means, we'll find out. But, it's one of these things where it's cool that he's going to use this out of all like the hundreds of stories we're told by Supergirl. He's using this one, so it says something about the legacy of story of the characters and all those things, which means my next question: when are we watching the movie?
I know, right? We have to. We must. I'm so like comparing. Oh my gosh, it's too fun to compare like the comic book, because obviously, yeah, you're only bound by your imagination, but also what like the artist can draw with their hands. But like movies, CGI, especially lately, I'm so curious because like the actor who's playing Supergirl is fantastic. Like I've seen her even in the trailer. She's
Millie
just
Alcock?
yes.
Anybody ever said you kind of look like Millie Alcock?
Yes, actually, they have. As soon as House of Dragon came out, I would see people kind of like, what the fuck are you looking at? And they're like, you kind of look like this girl.
They'll be watching the screen and they would just be looking at you and like just back and forth. Like,
it happened. Yeah, her and Billie Eilish is really my main ones. But anyway, another takeaway was like the humanity of her. Like, it's hard to understand why she would have gone through all that shit just to like teach this girl a lesson. But at the same time, she has like a really big heart. She just hides it well. And when they kind of let it out, it's like, okay, like that's the like softness of her, which I can appreciate. Cause like like even though she hides it well, she had the strength and she had the brashness, but she also really just wanted to help people as much as she can. And she has an odd way of going about it, but it didn't not work, in some capacity. Right. It worked kind of.
Yeah. I could see all of that. As far as and I'm curious now, in your own life, Ellie, have you ever tried to teach somebody a lesson?
I usually just kind of like, not really. I'm kind of like, they'll learn it, but I don't need to be a part of that.
I think there is, I think there, she definitely had her reasons, and I get, I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it or like it. But going through her entire kind of story arc and what she wanted to kind of show this girl, you're right. It's like she did this because it showed like a different side of her, really. Versus like the super strong, like we were talking about earlier, like the almost impossible to stop kind of like hero, right? It showed a different side of her. And then even like in the beginning when she was just like meandering through life and, I guess, getting drunk and stuff like that and starting fights, randomly. So it's definitely showed like a different side of her. And they wanted, I think in this particular story, to make her different than Superman. And I think they did that successfully. And that's why they were literally making a movie out of it, This was the first movie, I think, ever of Supergirl.
Really?
So yeah. Again, DC hasn't really made that many movies in the grand scheme of things. It's only been like Superman and Batman. So then
and the Flash and all those.
Yes, and again, they just made Flash. They made Flash maybe like what? Not too long ago. I think it was maybe like a decade ago, 10 years ago. Maybe not even. Maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
No, I don't think it was that long ago. With Ezra Miller?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was
not that long ago.
Yeah, it was like maybe in the last 5 years. And again, entire longevity for talking about like hundreds of years of these characters being around. I think exactly 100. It's like it's kind of crazy. So she's finally getting her movie. I just checked. It's coming out June 26th. So add to the calendar.
It's going on.
And then we'll figure it out when it comes. Do you prefer IMAX, 3D, Dolby Digital Sound?
Digital sound, a classic. I think this one would be really fun in 3D though, if they act right, if they've done it correctly. But
wait, if the theater did it correctly, or like the actual production company? Like, what do you mean?
the actual like the team, you know, like the
Like the
actual
directorial 3D team of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the creators of it, period.
Yes.
If it's like the book, I want 3D. I want it in my face. If it's not, then I don't really care.
You want to be flying through space and time and all of that. I hear you.
Precisely.
All right. I guess there's only one question left now, Ellie. Well, actually, before we ask that last question, you know, what I like to do is, you know, we have to kind of give this an empirical ranking, maybe out of like 10 or 100, you know, and then we can 100 being the best, 10 being the best, and then you know, I want to, you know, hold these rankings, you know, over time. We can retroactively adjust it. It's fine, but just so we know, we have a baseline of what the next one's going to be, you know.
Okay.
So after we do like, you know, a few of these, we'll be like, oh, this was really the best. This was my favorite, and we'll have like some kind of like ranking.
They can change, yeah. Well, you've read more comic books than me, so you
That's
go
why.
first.
Well, that's actually why I should not go first. So I want to hear what you think, and then I'll tell you how take on the situation.
Okay. Well,
there's also personal preference. I don't think like it's like about like you know, some kind of objective, you know, kind of
grading
rubric. No, it's not anything like that.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's a deluxe issue, and I'm comparing it to single issues, but I would give it a flat 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually lower than I thought you'd give it, but that is just about right. I would give it somewhere in the 70s. If I had to choose, like 75, I think is good. I would probably go slightly lower, but I think 75 is fair. So we will put this at a 75 combined. All right.
Harsher than me. Okay, 75 combined. That's fine.
Together, our empirical score.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Which is really good. I mean that you should read this book is really what that means.
Yes.
You know, I think if 50 is average, and you know, and 50 probably means like you'll probably have fun reading this, or like it's worth at least you know, looking through it. 75 is pretty good. That's a good recommendation. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're gonna remember this rating next time?
I'm definitely gonna write it down.
And then the next and last final question, and you probably already guessed it. Did you guess it? You want to say it out loud at the same time on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. What's the next
book? Yes.
Okay. So, what do you think? What do you want the next book to be? Knowing that, knowing that we did Supergirl, and there's a ton of others that we can kind of read. Is there any other hero that you kind of really want to kind of read their story about?
Not off the top. I'm not aware of what's coming out currently. You're more aware of like the current stuff.
Well, the current stuff, yes. But there's also, you know, all of these characters have like, especially in comic book stores, they're always coming out. For example, I think there's well, you know, we went to the Supergirl, we went to the store, comic book store, and they gave us like
Superman Day.
Yeah, they gave us like 10 different Supergirl comics, like that, you know, that are currently ongoing. It just so there's always like random stuff like that, and you know, I would say go.
I'm interested in the last Ronin because I know a lot about it, but I've never actually read one of the comic books. So if we're going preference, that's preference. But
I'll give you your last Ronin, but then I get to choose the next one.
Fine.
The one I was thinking, and it actually, I believe the guy won an Eisner for it last year. And not that Eisners mean everything, just so you know. It's a good kind of gauge of like what the industry thinks is the best currently. And usually it has a lot of you know, fandom behind it, and you know, kind of cult status. They only, because you know how many comics they release every year, so they only choose like 5 of the best ones, and usually it's story arcs. It's not like it's not like an entire run. It's not like all of, you know, Supergirl. It's literally like it would just be
like it's this
issue,
book specifically.
yeah, of a writer that's like a team that's working on it, and then, you know, they finish the story. So yeah, so this the one I'm thinking about is Martian Manhunter, and it's called Absolute Martian Manhunter, and it's very cool, and the artwork people are saying is groundbreaking. So that's why I want to check it out next. And so we will do Last Ronin first, and then Martian Manhunter. A good deal.
Yeah, deal. Yeah, I'm saying a lot about the Absolutes. It seems really, really cool.
All right, so we'll do that. And then that's the next combo club. We'll decide when that's coming out, probably next month. And then anything else you want to say to our fans, or our new fans, or your new fans?
My new fans specifically. Hey guys, what's up? No, yeah, we're gonna be doing some cool stuff. I hope more people join so we can get more opinions. That'd be fun. Yeah, but also just you and me were pretty cool. So yeah, and we also have cool books coming out with cool new artwork.
That's right. Go check out our website
for everyone.
And yes, we will keep getting better at making comics as we study the greats. All right, we need a motto or a catchphrase out. What are you gonna go?
Oh, please, you do it.
Thank you for playing in the playoffs. No, we'll find one good.
For next time.
All right, Comic Book Club out.